Howdy there folks, Woody here. Well, I've had a request from one of my subscribers to do another It Came From Facebook type video. Now, these are not particularly popular, but someone's asked for it, so I thought I'd give it a try. I've got a few different bikes here I've got lined up, so this is the sort of thing that gets me interested. 2003 Kawasaki KDX, $1,800, a little bit expensive for what it is. Have had for a few years now, and it blew up about 30 hours ago. Gave it a full rebuild with Millbar motorcycles. Price is negotiable, open to swaps. Will take some money and experienced eyes to get it riding. Motor is good for 100 hours. When new piston rings, comes with an aftermarket fitted exhaust. Message me if you're serious, and I'll give you a list of issues need a Kickstarter to start. So we're kind of okay. So he's done a rebuild, so that probably explains the price. But there's still issues with it, but he hasn't explained the issues. So the question is, do I really want to get involved with this if it's got, if he's already spent so much money on it and it still has other problems? I mean, I get where he's at. I have issues with my own vehicles at the moment, and I'll be deciding whether to keep them or part with them. But that's just, it's not enough information, and it's a little bit vague. And the starting price is too high. I mean, I guess the starting price, he does say it's negotiable. It just depends what's actually wrong with it. If you could get it down for closer to the $1,000 and it doesn't actually require too much work, it's a pretty good buy. But you're still looking at a 21-year-old bike. These high-performance four-strokes, they're not built to last, so yeah, probably not the bike for me. Well, this one here I just had to click on, an FJ45 Land Cruiser. I know it's not a bike, it's a car, but me and a mate, we rebuilt one of these things back in the 90s. Stripped it right down to the bare chassis, got a new chassis, put a 305 Chevy in it, then realised that once you change the chassis and you change the engine, you don't have the same car, so we had to get around that. He spent $12,000 on it and sold it for less than $4,000, and I just think now I don't think that's worth $68,000, but it's probably worth $40,000. So yeah, it's just unbelievable how these things go. You really can't pick what it is. So anyway, we'll go back to bikes. So this is a fat wheel top of the range, $1,800. Now, it seems like a lot of money, but we got to look at what it is. 60 kilometres in distance, 65 kilometres high speed. Now, I mean, you'd probably find it 60 kilometres at 25. I also don't believe anything that goes over 25 can be ridden unregistered or without a licence. So, to be using the top speed, you would need to be registered. You need to have a licence. So, this is a bit deceptive, but still not really a bad price for that little bike. No good to me. I live 65 kilometres from where I work, and I wouldn't get there at 25 kilometres an hour. So, yeah, but if you're a sweaty city dweller, suburbanite, that'd be great. Now, this is just, I don't understand why people do this. Maybe someone can explain it to me. 2006 RM450Z, swaps only. PM me what you have and more details. Now, these are the sort of people I usually just message them and offer them $1,000, and they go, "Oh no, it's worth $2, $2.5, $3." I say, "Well, it's not." But good luck with you, and I don't know what you think you're going to get as a swap. This looks pretty good, and yeah, seems to think it runs. So I just don't understand this kind of ad. Yeah, Boulevard M90, 2011, so, I mean, it's still 13 years old, but that's fairly new for what I'm used to. The newest bike I've ever had was 2012, so this is getting pretty close. No rego, as is, where is no swaps. Needs a new clutch and possibly a Speedo. Okay, so does he mean Speedo or Speedo cable? I have a friend who had one of these, an earlier model, and the Speedo was just unavailable. He could not get one. Ended up selling the bike, which he'd bought cheap because it needed a Speedo. Ended up selling it cheap because it needed a Speedo. So this one's a bit of a crapshoot, as they say. I mean, they're a lovely bike, but if you can't get it fixed on the road, you've just wasted a heap of money. Okay, 2005 Triumph 1050cc, $1,500. Seems very, very cheap for me. Bike has been playing up the last few weeks mechanically, and I don't know much about them. I only just started learning to ride. Seems to be more hassle than it's worth, so I just want to get rid of it. Doesn't start at the moment, but spark plugs have been replaced. The accessories seem to work fine. Engine clicks from spark, but doesn't turn over. Had been working up until the last 2 weeks. Look, it sounds like a flat battery to me. It would just be such a good buy if you could pick this up, put a new battery in it, and away it went. That, yeah, I mean, I'm really, really tempted. It's a long way from where I live, but that's very tempting for that price. Okay, 2006 Yamaha TDM 900. Bike is in good condition for its age. Near new tyres, clutch, battery, all fitted, registered till next year. Now, of course, if you're going to get a bike in Australia, it needs to be registered and have a safety certificate for you to be able to transfer the registration straight into your name. So 2006, it is 18 years old, but $3,700. There's probably a bit of room to move there if you got it for $3,500. It's done 62,000 Ks, so it has done a few Ks. Normally, once a bike's got over 50,000 Ks on it, that lowers the value significantly. But these were a mile muncher, you know, they were made to go. So, yeah, I don't think that's too bad. I'd try and get the price down a bit, but even $3,200 sort of thing, that'd be a good buy. Okay, 214 Honda Shadow, 4,800. Now, it's 10 years old. It is only 400cc, but it's an awesome looking bike. You know, it's really got the style. They've done a bit of work to it. I mean, more work than I would do to such a low capacity motorcycle, but someone's obviously loved it and they've taken good care of it, which makes it worth that little bit more in my opinion. 4,800 is probably too expensive. I'd think maybe 35. Yeah, but certainly worth a chat to him if you were like getting your first license and you needed that learner's bike to start with. Okay, here's another swap, a 2010 Honda Fury. Swaps, what's out there? Sports bike, road trail, bike, caravan, motorhome, camper van, Polaris, buggy, yacht, V8. Just send offer. This is a very clean chopper, 1300cc with rego, located Gympie, or send cash offer. The problem with these is people who've got them think they're special. I was friends with the bloke in Ayr who had one, and he advertised it for $14,000. Now, in 2014, I was offered a brand new 2010 model that had never been sold for $10,000. So, if you paid $14,000 for it, you've paid too much. This thing's probably worth $8,000. It would be interesting to know what our mate actually thinks it's worth. He's put a photo of it there with his new Harley beside it, which is nice. But yeah, it's always a bit of a crapshoot when you got someone who thinks they've got something that's worth a fortune, like our mate with his $68,000 Toyota. And yeah, sometimes I get upset, and sometimes, you know, if it's something's been for a while, they'll realise that, yeah, their expectations are unreal, and come to bargain with you. And what do we got last here? We got a 2000 ZZR 600. I mean, good enough for anyone to ride anywhere. Fast, fun, tidy bike. Rego till March 2024. So I wonder if he means 2025. And custom naked. I mean, custom naked usually means it's been dropped at some stage. So they've taken the fairings off. But that looks pretty good for a ZZR 600. It's only $3,000. I mean, it is 24 years old, but it's only $3,000. They're a good, reliable bike. They'll go forever. And yeah, I think that's a pretty good roundup. So those are the bikes that are available just around me. I haven't sought out any BMWs this time because I'm still struggling with my Triumph. It's had a problem with running on one carburetor, and I've got that fixed. And now it's, as soon as I turn the key on, it blows the ignition fuse. So I can't figure it out. It's going to have to go to an electrician, but I was tossing up whether just to get rid of it as a project and buy something else or fix it, and we've decided to fix it, so we'll see how that goes, and I'll keep you updated. Okay then, thank you, bye-bye.